Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Chakadash, the honestly apostles, bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the whole free elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, wherever you may be, wherever you may be, to I say Shalom, Shalom. All right, going to get into this quick session here based off a video, which I'm probably going to upload at some point today. So this, either way, this will be after that video. So you see how it ties in. But it was certain things because I couldn't. I wanted to look into these things while the video was playing, but if I did that, I would be taken away and lose the video. So I just recorded the video, and now I'm doubling back on those particular topics that were said, at different little increments in the video. Um, and so one of the first things they mentioned at the beginning of the video was these vaccine passports. All right, which is what I have. Just type it straight in to find it. Okay. So it says also known as the vaccination certificate, immunity passport, or digital health pass, right? A digital health pass. Okay. Which that might be another thing to pop in. Because I have all my things down here in the list. So that way we can get through them. But it says a digital health pass. It says is a physical or digital document that certifies an individual has been, vickied against a particular disease or recently tested negative for it. And you know, you can date this back to uh, the Bobit 19. Okay, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I think I was setting up already. Now I'm thinking about it. Um, well, they don't flag me, but it's okay if they do. But anyways, it says purpose and use. The primary purpose of the VPass is to help restore a sense of normalcy to public life and facilitate the safe reopening of economies by providing a verifiable health credential. They have been used for international travel. Okay, so it says historically countries have required proof of these for disease like yellow fever for entry. During the Bobit pandemic, they were used to allow travelers to bypass quarantine or testing requirements. Okay. And so, it's not like it was a long time ago. So I'm pretty sure, we all remember this time period. And then they told people to wear masks. They told people to isolate. Um, I think at some point they told people to stay in their homes, if I'm correct. Okay. And they all these things are part of Esau running tests on the public, okay, to see, the action, reaction, and so on and so forth. Especially if they don't get the reaction from the people that they were looking for, okay? If they don't get the reaction that they were looking for, all right, then they're definitely gonna loop back around, okay, and try something else. All right. But everything that Esau does is pretty much a plan, okay? And it's all leading to his digital, his implementation of his digital system. Um, Domestic access. In some countries and jurisdictions, they were required to access non-essential public venues and events, such as restaurants, bars, gyms, concerts, and large sporting events. Yeah, and what they were telling you to stay 6 feet apart. Okay, wear the mask, which it came out that the mask actually circulate more germs, which makes sense because that's what I always say. Like if something's in the air, you can't escape the air because you need to breathe. All right. So with a mask on your face, if you're still breathing, that means to some degree, you if something's in the air, you're going to breathe it in anyways. Now, I guess they do have certain masks of high level, which that wasn't given to the general population. The masks that people were wearing, they weren't those high level masks. Okay, just regular masks that only block out so much. But then once you breathe in, okay, because with the your whole system how it works. Once you breathe in, you're circulating that air in the mask because you're not just breathing out Because when you breathe in and then you have, yeah, because I looked into this, so I'm mention this real quick. So the why I was my shot, but when you have that gas exchange in your lungs, what you breathe out is the CO2 that's taken out of your deoxygenated blood and to make your blood oxygenated, and then it circles back, to give oxygen to your body, your brain, whatever. So the CO2 that you breathing out was being breathed back into the mask, and then whatever germs. So it's basically circulating within that mask instead of you being you were more safer breathing in the open air. And then it came out later that they were lying, and these people haven't been uh whatever his name, Dr. Fauci, whoever else might have been involved. There's no jail time or prison sentence or nothing like that for these people. Okay, who basically lied to the general public and use this as a test on the people, which shouldn't strike as new, because that's what they do. They experiment on. Oh, it makes me think about that one video where it had this little Edomite looking character, and he was just going around just trashing the earth, doing this, doing that, and then I think he like bombed everything or something like that. But basically, at the end, it was just the earth was just a whole trash dump, and he was just sitting there happy. All right, but that's Esau. Okay, he destroyed. The scripture speak about destroyed him, which destroyed the earth. Okay, and he's the one who was destroying the earth. Okay, but let's keep going. Work in school. Some employers and educational institutions have required proof of these as a condition of employment or enrollment. See, so format and technology. VPAS can take different forms: paper records, traditional yellow fever certificates, or the CDC issued white cards. White cards for the BOBIT are examples of paper documentation. These can be vulnerable to forgery. But then it says what? Digital certificates, right? Digital certificates. Many modern systems use smartphone apps that generate a secure, scannable QR code, and we've been talking about the QR codes, quite a bit, you know, because we've been mentioning China a lot, all right, because of the system that they have set up in play, um, which centers around, a lot of it centers around those QR codes, or not a lot of it, but some of it centers around the QR code. It ties in other words, I should say. Um, Linking to the individual's V or test status within their health database. There you go. All right. This provides a more secure and verifiable alternative to paper cards. And that's what they always say. The more digital, the more convenient, say, right? The more digital, the more convenient. Okay. So, key considerations: the use of VPass during the BOBIT has been a subject of debate with several key considerations. Privacy and security concerns exist about how personal health data is stored and protected, and ensuring against data breaches or misuse. Equity and access. Well, I'm not against all this. Da, da, da. Look, scientific uncertainty. Let's see what it says here. Public health officials have noted the need for ongoing scientific data on the duration of V-induced immunity and effectiveness against new variants to ensure the validity of these passes over time. Right? Check this out. So yeah, it says various international and private organizations such as the WHO, the World Health Organization, all right, and the International Air Transport Association have worked on developing standards, all right, for these digital health credentials to ensure interoperability and trustworthiness across different jurisdictions, right? So, yeah, just getting a little 411 on that, because they mentioned that at the beginning of the video, because they were talking about the things that were happening, currently, and they were dating it back to the BOBIT, all right, because they were pretty much, to say the least, they were showing the patterns, all right. Um, So let's jump down here and get our next thing because we have it in the list. So I typed in what are carbon offsets or carbon footprints. All right. So carbon footprint refers to the total amount of greenhouse gas or GHG emissions caused directly and indirectly by an individual, organization, product, or event. All right. So read it again. The carbon footprint refers to the total amount of greenhouse gas, okay, GHG emissions caused directly and indirectly by an individual, organization, product, or event. Carbon offsets are a mechanism to compensate for those emissions. Okay, so the carbon footprint is the gas emissions, so to speak, so called. Okay, and then the carbon offsets are a mechanism to compensate for those emissions by funding projects that reduce or remove an equivalent amount of GHGs elsewhere in the atmosphere. Okay, so this is what Esau is just he's because he claims to be a super scientist. All right, so this is what he thinks that he can control. All right, but and then he puts out things like these fake agendas like like global warming. Okay, fake agendas like that. Okay, well I mean it's a real agenda, but the standpoint of it is fake. All right, global warming. Okay, deforestation. Right, there's a whole process that that trees go through. All right, that are beneficial to the environment and the people, but they want to drop down what 70 million trees. Okay, so but these are all agendas. They want to block out the sun, all this craziness like that. Okay. Okay. Looking around. All right. So, anyways, so carbon footprint says a carbon footprint is a measure of the total environmental impact in terms of greenhouse gases, typically expressed in tons of carbon dioxide equivalent, CO2e. All right, components. Okay, and yeah, I mean, it says typically expressed in tons of carbon dioxide because that's what we just talked about. All right, in the you know, what after the gas exchange in your lungs. Okay, when you breathe out into the air, you're breathing out the CO2. Okay, and they speaking about the same thing about what with cow farts, cows are farting too much, and so all this craziness. All right, that Esau comes up, he'll come up with anything. All right, in order to move forward an agenda. Okay, so, components. A personal carbon footprint includes emissions from daily activities such as transportation, right, driving, flying, household energy use, electricity, heating, diet, and the consumption of goods and services. Purpose. Calculating a carbon footprint is the first step in understanding where emissions originate, allowing for strategies to reduce them as much as possible. You see, this is what they think to control, all right? Natural things, okay? The things that the Lord has created in their perfection, okay? And they think to control these things or manipulate these things. And there's certain things in the earth which obviously they have manipulated, okay? Most basic example, fruits and veggies and stuff like that, okay? There shouldn't be a splice between a plum and an apple or something like that, okay? The apple tree bears its fruit, the seed. The plum tree, same thing, all right? So you shouldn't have something like a plum apple, apple plum, whatever, okay? Uh, whatever, you get the point, okay? So yeah, wasp. I'm surprised they get caught in the web. That's She's definitely just flew in that web. All right, so calculating just flying over my head as I'm watching it. Calculating a carbon footprint is the first step in understanding where emissions originate, allowing for strategies to reduce them as much as possible. And it goes on to say measurement. Various online calculators and standardized methodologies exist to estimate carbon footprints for individuals, businesses, and products. All right, bear with me. Okay, that's good. So I just do. He's moving all weird. He's behind me, so make sure I was watching his ass. All right, so as I was saying, I think we were reading. What would you read purpose again? Calculating a carbon footprint is the first step in understanding where emissions originate, allowing for strategies to reduce them as much as possible. Measurement, various online calculators, and make sure you. Okay, yeah, it does that sometimes. So yeah. So it says various online calculators and standardized methodologies exist to estimate carbon footprints for individuals, businesses, and products. All right. And once again, as we mentioned, these are things that Esau is looking to, I mean, somewhat control, but he's basically saying that this is a problem in the earth. Okay. And in order to fix the problem, we got to do A, B, C. All right. X, Y, Z. In order to fix this problem. Okay. Which is part of him trying to, monitor and control or these different things. Okay. Um, so Okay, there's more carbon offsets. It says carbon offsets are a voluntary action. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay, I see. Oh, yeah. So we were reading carbon footprint. So yeah, carbon offsets. Carbon offsets are a voluntary action or financial instrument that represents a verifiable reduction or removal of 1 metric ton of CO2e. Okay, mechanism. The idea is that because climate change is a global problem, a reduction in emissions anywhere on Earth has the same atmospheric benefit. By purchasing carbon offsets, individuals or organizations can be, oh, sorry, individuals or organizations can fund projects such as reforestation and forest preservation. Trees reserve CO2 from the atmosphere. See, whole process there. But yet, we mentioned that they have deforestation that they're trying to take place in. Okay, um, Esau chopped down trees just to make space for a shopping center or whatever, and use the wood for whatever. I think in one article, maybe a year or two ago, they were talking about taking the trees that they were cut down, and then burying the wood, which I don't believe that for 1 second. They definitely gonna sell it or use it or whatever, but just they not just gonna. Esau ain't gonna cut down all these trees and then bury the wood when that's a business to him. Renewable energy funding wind, solar, or hydro projects displaces fossil fuel based energy generation. Methane capture, capturing and destroying methane, a potent GHG from landfills or agricultural waste, energy efficiency. So none of this is really super important here. Greenwashing. All such projects are additional. Yeah, I probably won't read into all that. So in summary, a carbon footprint is the amount of climate impact you create, and a carbon offset is a way to neutralize that impact by paying for an equivalent reduction elsewhere. The primary focus should always be on reducing your own footprint first, and then using offsets for unavoidable emissions. That's what something they talked about, reducing carbon footprints, right? So the last thing here is, yeah, right here, the IoT, which we probably heard about, the Internet of Things. So the Internet of Things refers to the vast network of physical objects or things that are embedded with sensors, software, and other technologies for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other devices and systems over the internet. Okay, and I think there's another one. What was it called? Internet of Bodies. Uh, I can't remember which is the former. Matter of fact, let's just punch it in right here. Internet of Bodies, and let that thing go. So let's go back to this. So yeah, a vast network of physical objects or things that are embedded with sensors, software, and other technologies for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other devices and systems over the internet. Okay, so these devices can range from everyday household items like thermostats and appliances to sophisticated industrial machinery and transportation systems. The primary goal of IoT is to enable seamless communication between the physical world and computer-based systems, allowing devices to collect data, communicate with each other, and perform tasks with minimal human intervention. Okay, this interconnectedness drives automation, efficiency, and real-time decision making across various sectors. Okay, so basically trying to connect everything, and ultimately, they're trying to funnel things through one avenue. How IoT works. An IoT system typically operates in four main steps: collect data. That's the number one thing, right? Collect data. Devices are equipped with sensors to gather data from their environment. Example given: temperature, motion, location, a video feed. All right, then it says share data. The data is sent to the cloud or a local server using various connectivity methods like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or cellular networks. Now, I'm gonna pause for a second here and talk about the bigger scope. All right, because you have the collection of data, and then all that collection of data is used, by Esau, which is why they have these data database or centers or whatever they call them, these data centers, right? They're building these things. All right, they're launching up Starlink all crazy. All right, they got the 5G and the 6G. Okay, and all these things are part of their groundwork to their new uh, digital system. Okay, um, three, process and analyze data. Software applications analyze the collected data to find patterns, generate insights, or determine a necessary action. This step often uses artificial intelligence or AI and machine learning. In L, 4. Act on data or provide insights. Based on the analysis, the system may automatically adjust a setting like a smart thermostat, trigger another device, or send an alert notification to a user via an app or website interface. Common examples. All right, IoT technology is used in a wide array of applications for both consumers and industries. Smart homes, right? Smart homes, right? Connected devices like security cameras, door locks, lighting systems, and voice assistants that automate tasks and improve energy efficiency and safety. And there was a old, I think it was like a Disney movie that had a smart house or something like that. Okay. Also, let me move my bike. I got these long legs crawling around. All right, move my bike. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, some old Disney movie about a smart house. And you had man, what was I just about to mention? There's something I was just mentioning there. Had on my mind. Doggone it, what was it? Um, shoot. Oh yeah, I was about to mention the which one is it? Neural? No, not Neuralink. Synchron. Synchron. I was about to mention Synchron. Okay, because Synchron uh had had their device is mainly geared towards those with ALS. Okay, and so we did a little piece on this dude Rodney with ALS, and he was able to, with his device, he was going to be able to operate his cooling system or whatever the case may be. Bear with me. Somebody coming this way. Hold on. All right, we good. We're gonna come and sit down. Okay. So what was I saying, man? Excuse me. Yeah, Rodney ALS. So they were saying with his device, because he wasn't able to do anything. So with his device, he was going to able to operate his cooling system, feed his cat or dog or whatever he had. Certain things that he can't do, all right, on his own without the device. Okay, so he made me think about that, mentioning the smart homes, because the device, his little brain device was hooked up to certain things in his home. Okay, look, check this out. Wearable technology, smartwatches, and fitness trackers that monitor health metrics. Well, who's that guy? RFK Jr. He was talking about the wearables. I can't remember what he called them exactly, but I know he said wearables. All right, and so that's desensitizing people to something that'll be inside these people's bodies, right? Because if you wear these things, you can track this. Uh, you monitor your health. Oh yeah, because make America healthy again, right? So monitor your health and things of that nature. Do all this, that, and the third thing, okay? And then, well, what's the next level of that? All right, where the next level of that is to have them, try to put the device inside people's bodies. See? So yeah. So the wearable was basically a step, and it was hiding behind making America healthy again. All right, but that's not the end all be all. Or ultimately, they want to put devices inside of people. Okay, so smartwatches and fitness trackers that monitor health metrics such as heart rate and sleep patterns, and can send data to send data to a smartphone app. See, but when you upgrade all these things, what does it equivalent to? All right, having this data, sent to your chip, and then the chip is monitored by Esau system. So he knows your health data, your metrics, your sleep patterns, and whatever. He probably be able to find if you're hungry or not. Okay, but you have to understand the level of God that he wants to play. Okay, connected cars, vehicles with sensors that monitor driver performance, predict maintenance needs, and communicate with traffic control systems. Industrial IoT applications in manufacturing and logistics that use sensors to monitor machine performance, track inventory. I don't get all that. Oh wow, smart cities. Municipal services like waste management, energy use, and traffic flow are connected and managed by computer systems to optimize public infrastructure and enhance citizen life. You see, and that's part of them marketing that to you like it's going to be some because they make it seem like a 15-minute city is just going to be some fantasy world. Okay, I guess somewhat to some degree will be, but I mean, and make it seem so great for the people. It really is them keeping you herded in one location, uh, um, kept under control by a device. All right. Um, you know, all the public transportation is all connected to the device. Obviously, shopping, that's basic level. Buy or sell. Say he that had the mark of the beast. All right, Revelation 13. So all these different things that you do in a regular life, but they want to hoard you to, one particular area, location or whatever, monitor you, track you, watch you, so on and so forth. Okay. Oh yeah, we typed in one more. Internet of Bodies. Actually went longer than I wanted to go. It's okay. The Internet of Bodies is an extension of the Internet of Things. Okay, so the IoT came first, then the IoB. So the Internet of Bodies is an extension of the IoT that refers to a network of physical devices placed on in. Look, there you go. There's one keyword that only matters. All right, nothing else matters except for that one lit up. All right, network of physical devices placed on, in, or around the human body that collect personal health and biometric data and connect to the internet. You see? And this is what they are attempting to do with mankind, with humanity. All right. Tap into humanity by what's that one guy? He said humans being hackable, something like that he said. Okay. Can't remember which one of them said it. But yeah, humans being hackable. These devices are designed to monitor, analyze, and even alter the body's functions, enabling seamless interaction between the human body and digital networks. There you go. See? Merging of man and machine, a fusion that Dr. Evil said, a fusion, all right, called Klaus Schwab, all right, a fusion of man and machine, okay, through these devices that Esau's created. Generations and examples. IOB devices can be categorized by their level of integration with the body. Body external, first generation. Wearable devices that collect data from the outside of the body. See, I mean, it's all laid on the table here. Example, smartwatches, fitness trackers, Fitbit, Apple Watch, smart glasses, and smart clothing that monitor heart rate, sleep patterns, and steps taken. Why do you need to know all these things? See? Oh, that's right, because they're making America healthy again. It's wearable, it's helpful. See? It's needful, it's convenient. Body internal, second generation. Devices that are ingested or surgically implanted inside the body to monitor or control health conditions. See? Doesn't that tie in with their devices? Right? Whether it be the actual body device or the brain device. See? From Revelation 13. And they got, these things that they're creating in these companies. Okay? Examples. Connected pacemakers and defibrillators, smart insulin pumps, cochlear implants, and digital pills with embedded sensors that confirm medication adherence. Huh, that's interesting. It says body embedded, right? Third generation. This represents the future of IOB because this represents what their pinnacle of what they're trying to create here. All right. It says where technology and the human body are merged. There you go. One says fusion. Well, we just mentioned fusion, but same thing. The technology. We light it up. See, it says this is the future of the IOB, okay, where technology and the human body are merged to a single system, and that's Esau system. You see, Esau system, often involving direct neural interfaces. Examples. There you go. Brain computer interfaces, BCIs. See, as we just talked about, like brain chips. See, Neuralink, Synchron, okay, companies like that. Those are the probably top two that you're here. But there's a big list of companies that dabble with this technology. But those are going to be the top two that you hear about. Okay, brain computer interfaces, BCIs, such as those being developed. Okay, see, look, mentioned right there, Neuralink, see, that aim to restore function to individuals with disabilities or enhance cognitive abilities by allowing them to control external machines with, ooh, see, because we just talked about this, see, Synchron, Roddy, LLS, all right, he can't move, with his hands and stuff like that, like he wants to, but he's hot, all right, so I'm gonna activate my ceiling fan, I'm gonna activate my not my car, my air conditioner. I need to feed my dog, but I can't do it. So I activate the food thing in the dog bowl machine, whatever. See, and they make these things what they market it to you as what convenient. Ooh, look what I can do. That's the big slogan there. Ooh, look what I can do. Okay, and especially as we always mention, the younger the generation, the more they're wrapped up into these types of technologies. And so the more they'll buy into it, and then you have to put on top of the reality of what people are complaining about, which is their social, or not really social life, but just their current life in general, the things that are taking place in their current life. They're complaining about life. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so and this is Esau trying to offer people a way out, making it seem healthy, making it seem convenient, making it seem affordable, just whatever else you can think of, man. And it's really just a trap. So it says that aim to restore function to individuals with disabilities or enhance cognitive abilities by allowing them to control external machines with their thoughts. And that's what it says. I was just thinking about something while the Halbert shot came back, but Second Thessalonians chapter 2, signs and lying wonders. See, creating things using his because all he is just he's a wizard, a sorcerer, and he's using AI technology, all right, to create this system, to control his devices, all these things that he's going to use to prey upon the people. What is it in Isaiah 45? It says, "Stand now with thine enchantments," okay, which you have labored from thy youth, or something like that. See, um, benefits and concerns. The Internet of Bodies offers numerous potential benefits, primarily in healthcare. Improved patient care. Real-time data from IoB devices allows for continuous patient monitoring. Earlier detection of health issues and more personalized treatment plans for chronic conditions. See, this is them saying that, hey, this is how it'll make your life better, right? Enhanced autonomy. For individuals with severe disabilities, technologies like BCIs can restore communication and mobility. Efficiency. Automated monitoring can reduce health care costs and increase efficiency in clinical settings. However, the technology also introduces significant uh, challenges and risks. Data privacy. That's all that always comes up. Okay, data privacy. A tremendous volume of highly intimate, personal, and biometric data is collected, raising critical questions about who owns the data, how it is used, and who it can be sold to. Example given: employers, insurance companies. Cybersecurity vulnerabilities. Hacking of medical devices poses potentially life-threatening risks, such as an attacker remotely altering the function of a pacemaker or insulin pump. Ethical implications. Concerns exist about bodily autonomy, potential for surveillance in workplace or legal settings, and a lack of clear regulatory standards governing the technology. All right, so there you go. Matter of fact, let's get this and just read that a little bit. Since we mentioned it, quote it. But we don't have to get it because we did quote it, but we'll get it anyways. Revelation 13. All right, because this is what they're aiming towards. All right, this digital system where they're gonna basically enslave the people using their technology. All right, to say the least. Okay. And he calls it. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast, right? Those that are not, that don't want to bow down and worship Esau, like Daniel with the in the book of Daniel, the three holy children. All right, when you heard the song or the sack, but the heart psaltery and all these different things, the bow down and worship his image that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. All right, and they refuse. Okay, this is that scenario here. All right, those that refuse to worship Esau, all right, he's going to want to destroy them. It says that the image of the beast should worship the image of the beast should be killed, and he calls it all by putting the pressure on the people. The current society, protests, riots, complaining about money, living costs, food, and on and on and on. All right, but using these things as weapons to put pressure on the people, and amongst all that, having chaos happen, and then that's his way of weaseling in and says, "Hey, look, I got the solution, and it's simple. Just take this. All right, small and great, rich and poor. All right, no matter your social status, because he's doing away with classes. All right, them and then everybody else. Okay, free or bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. See, mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, the body device or the brain device. See, and those things we pretty much somewhat covered and talked about in everything that we went through in that list. All right. So yeah, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast and the number of his name, because if you don't have his device, he's going to lock you out of society. All right, but that's where we're going to want the Spirit of the Lord, dealing, extremely heavy in those times, so that we move forward, okay, without this system, without what Esau's offering, without this white noise of the world. All right, just focus on Yahweh Shah, because we know Yahweh Shah is coming. Okay, put the Spirit upon us, okay, to deny this man's device. All right, and it's gonna be hard, but through the Spirit and power, Yahweh Shah, we'll get through it, Lord willing. All right, so yeah, there you go. So we'll probably end it there. I actually spent a lot more time on that than I wanted to, but it's okay. I hope this was a little helpful information there. So I learned a couple things myself. So we'll leave it at that. Lord, will you edify? Shalom.